Ready? Okay. Welcome to Broom Talk, the podcast where witches, healers, and magic makers gather to share their journeys, their magic, and their truths. I'm your host, Priestess Mellisa of Enchanted Dragonfly, inviting you to take a seat in the broom circle because the real magic is in the stories we tell. So let's stir the cauldron and speak the spell. So I have another magical being with me today. So tell us your name and your business name.
Hi, everyone. First, thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
And my name is Margie Breault, and my business is called Prism and Brilliance. I own a studio in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Awesome. Yeah. And thank you for joining us. And how did you start doing what you do?
So how I came to the path of sharing my medicine with other people was really because I needed to find out more of who I was. So a little, like 15-ish years ago is when I started diving my toes into experiencing energy medicine and getting it done on myself. And as I was exploring that journey and starting to really heal some of the limited beliefs and understand some of my trauma and how that really had me walking in the world as all these belief systems were limiting, and I was that limited version of myself. I found that like just getting the sessions done wasn't really like allowing me to fully meet myself. And so a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I think that you should like go take a class. You definitely have healing hands, and I think that it would help you really find more clarity." So when I first dove in to try to start to develop some of everyone has their own unique gifts. So as I was trying to develop mine, it was really all about wanting to know me and understanding myself on a deeper level. I came from a background of a lot of trauma. Like I always joke and say like, I found solace in watching all those Lifetime movies because those Lifetime movies all made me feel like my life was normal because my early childhood and life felt a lot like a series of like very dramatic Lifetime movies. You name it, it definitely happened in my life. And so, that I was in my early 20s when I came on to the journey of wanting to get that healing for myself because it was a lot of chaos before that. And so as I was developing and going through classes and getting the healing done on myself still, I found that I really wanted to share it with others because it was so liberating for me. I wanted to be able to show other people how it could also be helpful to them. So as I started to go deeper and study, I started to then share it with other people. And at first it was like family and friends. And we talk about it on the internet. I was still definitely in like the positive projective, like positive vibes only healer in the beginning, where I still go very deep with myself. And then the deeper I got, the more I wanted to share. The deeper the container and the vessel that which I could hold all that wisdom, the more I generated the want to share with other people. And so I've been sharing the medicine that I hold for about 8 years. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Yeah.
And could you tell us a bit about what you do with your business?
Yeah. So I am trained in a variety of modalities. So I do group sessions, which is like my niche. My what I love to do is group work, and then I also do one-on-one sessions. So I'm trained in everything from the ancient art of channeling to Reiki to the synergy of sound, all the way up to being a synergy of sound conductor, energy medicine, the foundations, energy for life coaching, and so many other things in between there that I have a lot of practice in. Everything that I bring to clients and bring to groups are things that I also do in my life. So there's nothing that I like read in a book one day and then was like, and now I'm going to teach you this. I know this because I read it. It's like I became the scientist of my own life and experimented with these things in my own field so that I could have a lot of direct evidence of my own transformation to then be able to say, not only did I learn these things and practice these things, but I can tell you exactly what they're going to do in your body. And so they're all the things that I learn and I grow inside of are all within the lens of natural law. And natural law is Bonpo, pre-religion, the way that indigenous and ancient beings worked in unison as a part of the cycle of nature and not separate from it. And our world now, people look at themselves as outside of the cycle of nature and almost superior to it in a lot of ways. We view ourselves as superior, but we're actually still governed by all of those laws. And so all of the different streams that I practice within are all weaving that back into the know, like letting us remember that we're still a part of that. So I do energy for life coaching, which is really focused on manifestation of a dream. Then I have transformational energy sessions, which is really focused on like deeply moving through trauma. I also do past life recognition, working with the Akashic to either go back and release from a very deep trauma that's been in our field for generations, or bring back a great gift. But both of those things are going to happen no matter what you're doing. So if you're coming in and you feel like you need to liberate from something further, if we liberate from something further, a gift is going to come through from that timeline as well. And for going back through a gift, the reason you're cut off from it is because a trauma happened that cut you off from it, to be able to walk with it in this timeline. And so no matter what we're going back for, both things are still happening, which is very law of polarity, right? We can't have one without the other. And so I do that on individual basis. And then I get hired a lot by corporations and teams to come do team exercises where I'm teaching this in these modalities in teams and leadership trainings. And then I host a lot of group work things as well.
Awesome. Nice. And experience is definitely the best teacher for sure.
Well, again, that direct evidence is so potent, right? Because like you can read everything in a book and see scientific data, but unless you experience it, it's still kind of like, you can't see the wind, but you experience it, right?
Yeah.
So if you never felt the wind and you didn't know, and someone was just telling you about the wind, you wouldn't know what that experience was like.
Yeah.
So it's the experience gives you that direct evidence that it's tangible. It's something that you can really understand on a cellular level.
Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah. And what type of practitioner would you say you are?
Oh, what kind of practitioner would I say that I am? That's a great question.
Thank you.
I would say I'm an embodied practitioner. If you were gonna give me what I had to describe myself at, because I'm trained in so many modalities, I'm not just one thing. So embodied practitioner, way shower, because I very much am that. Like I'm showing you the way. I'm not telling you the way. I'm showing it to you.
Yeah.
Which is what Aboriginal beings did. They passed things down by oral tradition, but it's really by showing, right? And we say it to our kids all the time, like monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Right? It's not monkey say, monkey do. It's monkey see, monkey do. And so that is the most powerful way in which you can invite other people into their own practice, is by showing them, is by being in practice with them.
Yeah.
It's not like going into a college class and the teacher saying, okay, now go do all these things without me. It's me being the teacher, but I'm doing it with you. And I'm walking you through it. I'm giving you direct examples of what it's going to do. I'm channeling into your field, and I'm telling you exactly what you need to hear. Whether it's in an individual setting or a group, and I love group settings, and I love doing group work. And I probably say this in all the groups that I'm in, but in group work, I'm also working with scalar energy. So scalar energy is freestanding energy that lives in all things. So here on the earth and in the sky, and it was the energy that Nikola Tesla was tapping into.
Okay.
So he found that energy moved like lightning bolts, like vectors through all life. And so what's different between scalar waves and light waves and sound waves is light waves and sound waves decay over time. Scalar waves stand. So they do not decay. And when they meet another scalar wave, which they are doing all the time because it's generating through all life, it's generating through us, they create third waves. So it creates more space, more energy, more light, more expansion, because all those waves are meeting. When we intentionally bring it into our field, when we're doing that work in our own body, when the scalar waves are being able to also be utilized in healing as it's breaking through dense energy in our body, that pucha, we're mulching it with that light, right? We're really transforming it, that alchemical process. As that scalar light is generating through us, it's creating more space for energy to move, which means more light can come in. When we're doing that in a collective space, in a group of people, where multiple people are having those liberations within them, more light is pouring into the whole room.
That's awesome.
And then all those third waves are getting generated, which means more healing is happening for everybody, which is so powerful. And people don't recognize that is why that people enjoy community and community healing, is because that's what's happening, even if they don't know that's what's happening.
That's a great way to explain it so people can visualize it too, because you could talk about it all day long, but to see it in the mind's eye like that and explain it. That was great. Yeah. What's your spiritual origin story or an awakening moment?
Ooh, I'll tell the place that I do a lot of my deep work with, and that I've been with for the 8 out of 15 years that I've been on this path. It's called the Svaha Yoga and Synergy of Sound Academy, and I've been the person who created it. Her name's Lisa Shwari Murphy. Her and Nicole Pepin are 2 people that I mentor mentor me. They're my mentors, and I've been learning under them for quite some time now. And my origin story of like, I feel like where I became really like rooted and to get dedicated to going deeper in the light of truth and not being that positive projective healer was the first time I ever started learning about natural law. So when I first came onto the journey, I was like learning about Reiki, and I went to like all through the Reiki master trainings. I learned a little bit of shamanism, and I learned about witchcraft. My stepmom was really into Wicca, so I was learning about that, and paganism. I was learning about herbalism. I was learning about all these things, but really didn't find like none of those things really like rooted me in yet. And so when I was walking into my first natural law class, it was before all of their systems had really been developed. It was Nikki and Ash teaching Nikki in Nikki's basement, an intro to natural law, which is a class I teach now. And they were talking about the law of polarity. Nice. And so for your listeners, I don't know if they know what the law of polarity is, but the law of polarity is talking about how everything is in dynamic generation. And so I think of it as an atom, right? So an atom doesn't just have positive or negative, it has both. And in the middle is the nucleus, and how the nucleus is balanced and stays charged is both of those positive and negative ions on the outside being in balance, being in relationship with another. And if you have too much of the positive or too much of the negative, you implode or explode, and they can't exist without the other. And the charge doesn't happen unless you're witness to both. And we're all made up of atoms, right? So that must be true of everything that is derived from those atoms. And when I walked into learning about natural law, and they were talking about that law of polarity, they were talking about it in a way where I was like, oh my God, I don't need to be up here all the time and pretending that everything is just like unsustainable, happy, sunshines, rainbow, butterflies, and unicorns. And that I can meet myself on a deeper level. And that's actually where power comes from. Yeah. What? What are these people talking about? I want to know everything about this, because at that point, the most I had heard about natural law, and what most people that come to me have known about natural law, is like the law of attraction and manifestation, right? Like those are the buzzwords that they know about, but they don't really know the rest of it. Yeah. And to actually be able to manifest anything, you have to have an understanding of the rest of the laws, because it's not just you attract what you want. Like you can't just sit somewhere and say, I want $1 million and expect the $1 million is going to reach you. There's a lot of action that has to happen. But you know, people think if they write it down in a journal that it's going to happen, but there's so many other laws that are at play there. And so the law of polarity is what, like, I really saw this spark in that moment. Nice. Like, you know, where you can see the 2 different paths and you're like, okay, I can stay on this one, I'm already on it, or I can take this whole new one. Yeah. I like saw that whole new path, and I was like, okay, if I stay on it, I'm gonna be what I thought I already was. Right? Like I'm gonna find out who that person actually is, and because she doesn't even actually know yet. And I was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to keep going on this road. And so I did. And I have. Nice.
Awesome. And the law of polarity is one of the 7 Hermetic principles. I don't know if a lot of people know it. Check that out. 7 Hermetic principles. It's like one of the main principles, and it's everybody has it. We all go through it, but to have that education where you can see it, and it's awesome.
Well, and like, so when you start to learn about all the natural laws, right? Like, and you start to really walk with them in your life and understand them, it's like that. It's not that false sense of power that like fear or anger or just shame and blame and that or like really rigid, what the world calls discipline, gives you. To really be disciplined, to be in that observer, to be able to witness it and harness the power. That's what real power is. And everything's happening so fast there because all the energy is moving in a light place and not a dense place, right? So when you're stuck in shame and blame or judgment or fear as a way of life, which so many people do, energy is very dense. So that means nothing's moving quickly there, which means anything you're trying to attract, if you're not at that same vibratory frequency, as soon as it's meeting you, it's bouncing right off because you can't contain it because your container is full of that density.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's an awesome way to put that. Yeah. What's your daily spiritual or magical practice?
Oh, my daily spiritual magical practice. So I start my every day with doing a bioscalar meditation, which is the part of the meditations that I do in my own practice for other people, but for myself. So the bioscalar meditation is where you're inviting all of that scalar energy into your body. So you're really generating it through your imagination. And our imagination is our greatest form of intelligence, and our brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So we can actually do so much through our imagination to generate healing light in our body, which is so cool. But the whole body of research around it, the scientist who did research on it, her name is Dr. Valerie Hunt. She wrote a book called The Infinite Mind. She did 30 years of research around how we generate scalar energy through meditation, which is really, really, really cool. So I start my day with a bioscalar, and I do what we call the connections prayer. So it's really about like making sure we're staying rooted in that place of light and allowing anything that's not ours to move back to wherever it came from, or to be generated back into the earth, because the earth can transform anything that we no longer can carry. All of the energy she's welcoming back to be recycled so she can generate it into something new when we don't know how.
Transmutation at its finest.
Yes, exactly. So if we don't know how to transmute it, she will, no problem. And so I do what we call the connections prayer. And then throughout the day, my day is filled with like mantra, breath work, chanting, moving my body. So whether it's like yoga, a walk outside, just touching grass, maybe it's moments of stillness, listening to high vibrational music, whether it's chanting or mantra that I'm putting on my radio too, or I'm just listening to more higher vibrational words and sounds, because people don't realize that everything that we consume is very important to our field, and that includes music and the media that we're consuming, because it's all speaking to us. And it's speaking to ourselves. So I'm very intentional about what I am consuming throughout the day. And then also, like, every time I'm noticing something come up, ask my body what it needs, right? Because it's not going to be the same thing every day, and it's not going to be in the same time frames every day, except for the non-negotiable. Like, I'm starting my day with the bioscalar. But it's not like in bed before I even get out of bed. Like I'm just like doing that, laying down, which takes like 5 minutes. And then I'm starting my day. Like I turn on mantra, and as I'm getting my kids ready for school, and we're dancing around the kitchen, and we're doing mantra, and we're breathing. And
that's awesome.
And so it's it's all dependent upon what I need. Because sometimes it's stillness, right? Sometimes it's like just being in a state of surrender is what my body needs. And so really being able to discern, like, what is it?
That quietness, and just sometimes you just need to just stop, right? And give that body a catch up or what have you.
Yeah, well, and surrender is still an action, right? Some people are like, oh, like they have a hard time with the surrender piece because they think that means that they're lazy, because we've branded stillness as laziness. But like sometimes the choice to be still and silent is the most powerful thing that we can do.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Who or what inspires your path the most?
Oh, who inspires me?
Nice. That's what it should.
I am honestly the transformation and the power that I've built within myself that has been shaped by all of my mentors and my teachers and the community that I grow with. That is really truly what inspires me to keep going. And then further beyond that is the ripples I see in the people that I work with, like seeing the changes that my clients make, seeing the impact that it has on their life, and the changes that it has in their vibration, and the miracles that they're manifesting in their life. Like, that is so inspiring. And we can only meet others and lead others as deep as we've gone, and as far as we've gone. So we can only help others rise as deep as we've gone.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can only rise as deep as we think of it as a tree, right? Like a tree only grows higher if its roots grow deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are very much like that. And so I don't just want to like ascend and be off the planet. I want to go deeper so I can rise higher.
Mm.
And I don't want to forget my body in the process. So that whole thing that's all very inspiring. Like, and knowing that the more that I can hold and contain, the more that I'm bringing to my clients, the more they can now hold and contain because I'm shining light into them. And my light's not going anywhere. It's just getting bigger as their light gets bigger. Mm-hmm. And as my teachers' lights get bigger, then my light gets bigger, and then their light gets bigger. So it's this whole freely giving to freely receive, but never forgetting myself in the process.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's awesome. What was your biggest challenge you faced on your journey, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, the biggest challenge I think I've faced on the journey is understanding that not everyone's coming with me. That has been one of the more difficult ones to be non-attached to, right? I practice this non-attachment and, not putting force or pressure or expectation on others. But at some point, and it's not personal when people can't come with you. It's just not an energetic alignment. Not everyone's going to come. And sometimes that means even the people that you thought were going to come with you aren't coming. No matter how much you actually do try to control the situation and will claw onto them for dear life, it actually only makes the break apart harder.
Yeah.
It actually becomes much more toxic when the split finally occurs, because then you're meeting the same lesson over and over and over again until you surrender to it. That's what happens in all our relationships. Like what we don't change, we're choosing, and what we don't heal repeats. So if we're not healing those cycles within ourselves, we're going to continue them. And if we actively aren't changing it, we are choosing it.
Yeah.
And then we have to take accountability for that in our lives. And so accountability is a huge thing on the journey. Like, you got to take accountability because you have to see it to free it. If you pretend it's not happening, how will you be free of it? And so, yeah, that not being able to take everyone with me has been something that has been really hard, because that means that I have lost friends and I have lost connection with family members, and that is hard. And so you have to be okay with the fact that you can love them from afar. Because when people are no longer in my direct field where they don't have access to my energy, it's not that they lose love from me. I still love them. And it doesn't serve anybody for me to wish anybody harm. It only benefits me to wish them healing. And at the very least, neutrality if I can't get to the healing part. But I always aim to get to the point where I'm wishing for them healing, and I'm seeing them free of the things that keep them stuck.
Yeah.
But knowing that unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional access, and it doesn't mean that harmful decisions are not they're not being held accountable for them. But that also means that sometimes those people aren't directly in your circle anymore, and that can be really challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me of a quote I heard from somebody who said a while ago. It said, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. And so, and you can't shift a frequency with the same one that created it. So like if you're trying to change what you're doing, but you're meeting it with judgment, and you're meeting it with anger, and you're meeting it with shame and blame, that's not a different frequency. It's the same frequency that's keeping you in the problem. And so I'm very solution oriented in that way, because I don't want to focus on the problem. I want to understand that the problem exists, but I'm not going to find my way out of the problem by focusing on the problem.
Right.
I'm only going to find my way out of the problem by focusing on the solution. And experimenting with what solution is best.
Yeah,
being very curious about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. What tools, methods, or spirits guide your work?
Well, I've talked about a lot of tools. So I work with all streams of consciousness. So I'm a channel to all unified light. So I'm working with the earth. I'm working with the planets. I'm working with the animals. I'm working with the deities. I'm working with the gods. I'm working with a little bit of all of it. And when you're working with those energies and you're calling in your like high council of light, right? They're not separate from you. They don't hold more power than you. They're actually there to remind you that the power exists within yourself. So when I'm calling on the light of the earth, I'm not saying light of the earth, do that for me. When I'm calling on Gaia, which is the earth, or I'm calling on Kali, or I'm calling on Archangel Michael, I'm not like, please do this for me. It's for them to remind me that the power that exists in them also exists in me. And it's them lighting it up in me, and holding space for me to remember that it's still there. So in that way, I'm working because I'm working with so many ancient streams of wisdom, I'm working with so many different things.
Yeah.
But like other tools that I'm using, I am a synergy of sound conductor and a sound healer. So I'm working with sound instruments. I'm working with my voice quite a bit. I'm working with breath. I'm working with crystal energy. I'm working with mantra. So these are all different tools.
That's awesome. How do you stay energetically protected and grounded?
By making it my way of life, right? So all the things, again, which I was saying earlier in the conversation, all the things that I am talking about are things that I walk in my life. So mantras I'm doing every day, breath work I'm doing every day. Breath work is literally our life force, and if we're constricted in our breath, we're constricting in our life force. If we're holding our breath, then we're not speaking truth. We're holding truth, and we're not letting it be expressed throughout us and throughout our voice. And so then we're not speaking authentically either, which causes a lot of throat imbalance. But all the things that I do and I talk about are, again, they're the things that I do every day. They're things that I walk in my life. They're the way that I live in the world. So I'm very devoted to myself in that way, and disciplined in a way that, like, I have the freedom to choose what benefits me and the wisdom to know that the more I choose it, the more it benefits me. And the more I choose it and I hold that wisdom and that knowing, the more it benefits everyone around me. Just by a state of my presence, because I'm holding all of that within me. And so my ocean is very big, and the light there is very strong.
Nice. What's one common misconception about your craft or your work?
Oh, that is not scientific. The biggest misconception about, I think, all of the stuff in the metaphysical world is that there's no science. It's woo-woo, right?
Yeah.
That's like the biggest misconception, is that it's woo-woo. And people think like they can't do it. Any gift that I have cultivated and worked on and grown is not anything that is separate from anybody else. So I've actually been trying to not use the word gift, because it makes people think that someone has to give it to you. But we all have access to all of these things that I practice. Like, we all have the ability to harness our clairs and be able to see beyond what the eyes can see, and sense beyond what the eyes can sense, and what the body can feel, and what the nose can smell in the physical realm. Like, we all have access to be able to light up that wisdom within us. And all of it is based in science. Like, natural law, universal law is proven to exist in nature and science. Like, there are so much science around all of those laws existing. And they also exist for us. Like, this is because we're part of nature. And so there's a whole body of research around scalar energy. It's literally the energy that Nikola Tesla was researching. So there's years and years, and there was even James Maxwell was looking at it before he was. So there's years and years of research around scalar energy, and then creating bioscalar energy within the field by geniuses, by brilliant minds. And then, there's research around ancient technology and ancient medicine, right? Earth medicine, sound medicine, breath, mantra. Those are all what were created before pharmaceuticals ever were. Yeah. That's how people were being healed in community, was by using these tools. And they continue to hold the test of time. Our science is now just starting to catch up to it. But like, there's, again, so much research around the healing frequencies and what they do to a body. Mitchell Gaynor did a whole body of research around how sound bowls, crystal bowls can actually shrink cancer cells, and how those frequencies move in on a cellular level. And that's what I'm working with. Like,
That's
those are the
awesome.
energies that I'm working with. And, you know, again, so much research around science and magic are not separate. They are one thing. You can't have magic without science. You can't have science without magic. They're one thing. The physical, the psychological, and the psychic are all one thing. And we are what separates it. We just don't look at everything as a whole. I'm bringing it all back into a state of wholeness. And so, like, psychology is literally the study of the spirit. That is what the root of the word means, the study of the spirit. Our world is what has made it the study of the mind, and we've left the spirit out of it completely. We've left the energy body out of it completely. And that's why people get stuck in all those loops and those cycles, because all we're doing is studying the mind, and we're telling that saying that the mind is superior to the heart, and that's not the truth. It's we actually need to give the brain, the mind, a job to entrain to what the heart knows, and not to separate. When we separate and when we make one better than the other, we're already in a state of imbalance.
Well, look at like auras and chakras. A lot of people didn't believe that they existed until they were able to capture it on pictures. And now you can see it. And sometimes they use those pictures to determine underlying health issues. Again, back to the scientific, data coming through to prove such things.
Yeah, and so again, these are all things we have access to. Like, I'm not some magical fairy being. Well, I am a magical fairy being. Let's get that real. But like, it's not something that any one of the people listening can't tap into. It's not that I've been given something that someone else can't get. It's only because of my state of devotion and practice that I have so much wisdom around it and can share it. But anyone can if they decide they want to.
It's like any other skill set that you have to develop it.
Absolutely. And some people have natural proclivities and things that are just like naturally more prevalent than others. But that's true for any other thing in the world, free of the metaphysical world, like out of the what people call supernatural, which isn't really supernatural.
Right. Yeah.
It's science.
Yes. I love that. That's so awesome. Can you share a powerful or memorable client transformation with no names?
Yeah. Actually, there's been this woman. So I've been practicing for many years, but I just opened my physical space almost a year ago. Thank you. So I was doing virtual visits, in-home visits, and then again, still being hired by people to go into their teams and organizations to do stuff. But with the opening of my physical space, has allowed for a lot more regularity, especially with people who don't want me to come into their homes. And in fact, the reason I decided to open the physical space is because I had 3 people turn me down as a practitioner because they didn't want me to come into their home and they wanted an in-person thing. And I was like, okay, universe, I hear you loud and clear. I know I need to get my butt in gear and open a space, because it had already been something I'd been thinking about. And I was like, this is what I really needed to get my butt moving. I needed the signs and synchronicities to tell me it was time. And it was time. So I opened the space in June of 2025, so almost a year. And I've had this woman coming in, and she started just coming in for my group experiences. So I do group sound and meditation, which is a bioscalar activation with the synergy of sound. And then I do breathwork and mantra. So those are 2 like standing things that I do every week. And so she started coming into that, and she was noticing such a shift in her energy. And she was sharing at the end of each session about how it was really helping her in her life. And then she started telling friends about it. And her friends started to notice the shifts in her. And then she started coming in for one-on-one sessions. I would say like 4 months after she was coming in every week, as she started to come in for one-on-one sessions. And she's been doing that monthly for the last 3 or 4 months. And we had a really wonderful breathwork and mantra session yesterday, and what she shared that she never used to feel like she could hold joy or happiness. It was kind of something she just like saw other people have, but never really felt like she was holding any of that. And being in a consistent state of practice and doing this work with me and with our community that I've been building at the space, it has created so much space for her that she now feels like she's mostly joy.
Oh, good.
She's mostly in a state of happiness, and then she's experiencing all these other emotions, and she understands that the emotions aren't her. And to see the shift in the difference in her face and the way she carries herself between where she was when she first started coming in and just 11 months difference is so huge. And I have so many other client transformations, but this one being like, she's not looking to be a practitioner. She's not looking to be a healer. She's not one of the people that I'm mentoring or the people that are apprenticing under me. She's just someone who has like literally had the direct evidence of it working in their life and really being committed to that, and how that has created such a shift in her energy field and how everyone around her experiences it. And she can reflect those stories back when she's coming in for our one-on-one sessions, but also when we're in group work, like when I open the space for people to share, she's the first person to share how she's feeling the shift in her body, and she's no longer shy in that space, and she allows herself to take up that space, and she feels so much more spacious. And it's so beautiful to see people really, again, like I was saying in the beginning, to really see that space open up for themselves and understand that it's not anything that I'm giving them, it's them having to cultivate it in themselves, right? And this is something that I say to anyone who's coming into me for a one-on-one session, like, I can move all the energy in this space. Like I am facilitating that, yes, but I'm not healing you. The real healing happens when you do this in your life. So if you're coming back to me with the same story and we're in the same place over and over and over and over again, and you're not moving, that's direct evidence to me that you're codependent on me moving the energy for you, and you're not going into your life and then doing it. Those aren't the clients I keep. And I tell them that when people are coming in, like, if that is what you're going to do, that's fine. No judgment. Not everyone's ready to go and really be on this journey. But at some point, there's going to be a moment where this is no longer, I'm not going to be the practitioner for you if that's where you want to stay, because that's not where I want to stay.
Right. And it's like, it should be like ripples in a pond where it just goes out. Right. But if you don't do anything, there's no ripples.
Exactly. If you're just coming in and you're like, okay, make me feel better. And then you go back out into the world and you're like, oh, well, I felt better for a couple of days, but then I went right back into all the old agreements and all the old stories and all the old habits. Well, then you're not actually cultivating the power of the practice in your life. And that's where the real healing happens, right? I can hold the container. I can create the space. I can hold the flashlight as we go to all those deep, dark spaces. I'm doing all of that. I'm helping you see beyond what your eyes can see, because that's part of what I hold as medicine. I'm helping speak it. I'm helping you speak it. We're doing all of those things. But if you go back into your life and you go right back into the same thing, then you're just dependent on me to make you feel better.
Yeah. And I find that there's a lot of like codependency happening in the world right now where you shouldn't be doing that. So no one's getting anywhere.
And codependency is also not empowering, right? Like if you're dependent on me, that means that you can also point the finger at me anytime that you're not feeling good. And I'm like, no, you need to be accountable.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and this is something that I observe in the world, like, right. And I used to do this when I didn't know that I had sovereignty in myself. I did not say that word right, but everyone knows what I meant.
No word.
That word. Be standing in my light of truth, standing in my essence. But before I knew how to do that, if I didn't know what the right choice was, or like I wasn't listening to my intuition, I needed everybody else's opinion to validate me before I made a choice. Right now, I'm calling like 20 people to all give me their different opinions on the scenario until I hear the thing I want to hear. And then I'm hearing it a couple more times just to make sure that it's like really a drive home. But then when I make the choice based on everyone else's opinions, when that choice doesn't fulfill what I wanted, because maybe it doesn't match my intuition, and I gave my power over to everyone else's opinions, then I'm also pointing my finger at everybody else when it doesn't go right, because I'm already not taking accountability because I want everyone else's point of view. And instead of saying, okay, well, I still made the choice to make the decision, right? And I did used to do that before I came onto this journey. I would call maybe not 20, but 15 probably. I would call all sorts of people to them to validate my experience, to justify me in my whatever decisions I was making or not making. And then when I followed their advice and it didn't go well, I'd be like, well, they told me to do it. They told me to. And not owning my own decision. Yeah. People do that all the time.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
All the time. And that's what codependency is. Because when say someone else is like, oh, I'm so sorry I gave you that bad advice, which people also do all the time, right? They also then take on the accountability, like it's their fault that person made the wrong choice. Yeah. Right. I say that in quotes because like it's not really the wrong choice. Yeah. But like when it's a misstep, right, or a mistake, and then the other person holds it, right? And in reality, when we do that, we're in these roles of suffering, of victim, perpetrator, savior, right? And then we take on through the law of karma, the karma for that whatever decision that they made, because now we're saying that it was all our fault. And now it's our fault to fix it too. It's like our problem. So we hold the karmic ties to however that needs to work out in our energetic field. I don't want to hold on to any of that.
No, you get carried around.
But a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
I know it's that too. Yeah. Interesting. What sacred self-care practices keep you aligned?
Self-care practices. I mean, I think we've been talking about it this whole time, right? I'm like, is there something different that I haven't said? No, I think that really staying devoted to making sure that I'm walking what I talk, like really doing all the things that I speak. So again, my meditation and my prayer in the morning is non-negotiable. And everything else throughout the day, like I'm meeting it as it needs to be met. Sometimes it's stillness, sometimes it's movement, sometimes it's a walk outside, sometimes it's breath work and mantra while I'm sitting in traffic, right? But it's all about meeting all those things throughout the day when they need to be met, and meeting myself when I need to be met, right? Because like when that emotion comes in, or that story comes in, or that limited belief, or the person honking and throwing up their middle finger in traffic is like coming past me. Those things all need to be met in real time, and it doesn't always need to be the same thing. So those sacred rituals and practices are very important to my own inner being, to make sure that I am staying in a state of alignment, and knowing that is going to, and understanding that those rituals, although they are consistent, are going to look different every day.
Nice. What does success look like to you as a spiritual business owner?
Success looks like to me the ripples and waves of people healing and liberating, like those stories of transformation, those direct evidences. That to me is success. Like it's been really funny when I first opened. Obviously, people didn't really know that I was there yet, right? So I'm coming in, and there's like 3 people, there's 5 people, there's 4 people. There's not a lot of people coming in for the consistent things that I'm having every week. So my Monday nights are donation based, and I do ask that people text me. I'm going to tell you, most people don't. Most people just show up. So sometimes I'm getting like 20 people in my space on a Monday night, which is pretty tight, but we get cozy in there, like a big slumber party. And everyone opening up at the end to be vulnerable, to talk about their experiences and sharing their space with one another. That to me is success. Whether that is 1 person or 20 people, like obviously the ripples are bigger when there's 20 people. But that to me is a sign of success. The fact that I can say on a Monday night, well, 4 people text me, but we'll see how many people show up, and 15 people are in my space on a Monday night, that is very successful to me. Nice. That I don't have to worry. I certainly am not worried if there's 1 person or if there's 15 people. I'm going to show up every time. But the fact of the matter that 15 people want to make that a consistent part of their schedule, and that that many people are coming in with regularity, so I haven't even been open for a full year yet, and over 1,000 people have been in my space. Awesome. With only having those 2 consistent days of being open for groups. That is really monumental. Because it's not like I'm not a shop like you are, right? Like you are coming in for meditation and sound and breathwork and mantra, or you're coming in for a one-on-one session. And so the fact that many people have been in my space in under a year, that is a huge wave. Those are huge waves of people liberating. And that to me is way more successful than any monetary value could possibly give me.
That's great. Do you follow the moon, astrology, or seasonal cycles in your work?
A little bit of all of it.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of all of it. I'm definitely not an expert on any of it, but like my own body runs with the moon cycle. So I shed with the new moon and I ovulate with the full moon. So it's my body's working in that cycle. It's very relevant to me to work within that cycle in my own work. The seasons are part of nature. So obviously those seasons are very important to my work as well. And again, I'm not an expert on astrology, but I do know that energetically it holds weight on how we're experiencing life. So having information about it without being an expert about it, I think is very important.
Nice. What's something you wish more people knew about energy work, divination, rituals, what have you?
I wish more people knew that it was for everybody.
Yes.
I wish more people knew that it wasn't like some secret sect of human beings that have access to it. I wish that everyone knew that it's and that one way is not necessarily better than another, right? It's all many paths to the same truth, right? All the streams into one ocean. So as long as you're not following information that doesn't feel resonant or true to you, understanding that like these are for all of us, right? Our ancestors are all the same. They all boil back down to the same ancestors. And so whether you're a shamanic tribe or Aboriginal beings in Australia, or you come straight from the indigenous human beings who were here in the Americas, or you were from the Lemurians or Atlanteans, or maybe you come from the Pleiadians or the Sirius stars or one of the other star nations, right? Like, doesn't matter where your ancestors are from. At the end of the day, they all held sacred practices. All of them did. And all of this medicine was woven in different ways, right? Like the ancient Vedic and the Rishis had mantras, but then like the Lakota tribe had prayers. And they spoke them in a beautiful language, right? And all of those are ancient technologies. All of those are ancient ways that they brought healing into their communities. All of the deities and gods and goddesses that they worked with are all different aspects of the same thing, of the same whole, because we all come from that. That's like when I say when I'm working with those deities or those energies, it's not that they're reminding me that they're more powerful than me. They're reminding me of the aspect of them that already lives inside of me, because they're all aspects of the same source as well. They're all aspects of the same thing, and just expressed in the time to the people that it needs to be expressed by in that tribe. Yeah. Right? Because all of that energy comes out in the way that it's relevant to the people who are meeting it. Right? So the ancient Egyptians had their Egyptian deities and gods, right? So they had like Isis and Horus and all the things that the ancient Egyptians had. But then like you go over into the Romans and the Greeks and they had the oracles of Delphi. Or you go, in the time before Christ, we had the Essenes, right? And the Essenes were learning from all of these other ancient sources of light energy and energy. And so understanding that it's, again, many streams to the one ocean, many paths to the one truth. Where our world is what separates it all. Yeah. And puts it into lenses of extremism. But really, it's for everyone. It's for everyone. The earth is for everyone. It really all of the practices that she holds, and that all of those beings passed down through oral tradition, through their communities, it is for everyone. It is not for one type of person, one tribe of person. It is not a secret sect of people. It is for everybody.
So true, so true. If you could give one piece of advice to someone just starting the path, what would it be?
The first piece of advice I would tell someone who's new on the path is that you don't need to spend hours upon hours practicing for it to work. Especially for like the people who are like, I can't sit still in meditation, or I can't do this, or I can't sit down for 45 minutes. Cool. Don't.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
Start with 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Start with one whole minute of whatever practice you want. Breath work, mantra, movement, meditation, whatever it is. Start with 60 seconds. And don't try to practice on your own, right? If you are not someone who is in a state of practice, trying to practice on your own, you're just going to be with your own cycling thoughts. Find, if you're not someone who's ready to go out into the world and practice with other people, find YouTube videos, find things on Spotify. Allow yourself to be led, but find the short bursts that are going to hold your attention until you can build that muscle. Because just like everything else, it's a muscle that we build. Yeah. It's a habit that we have to build. And if you're not used to it and you think you have to do breath work for 4 hours and 108,000 mantras and 72 sun salutations, you're probably not going to start, and you don't.
It's overwhelming. You think of it like that,
right? Yeah. But some communities, make it a really strict and rigid. They go into the extremism of you have to do it this way and you have to do it this many times to do it right. Cancel, delete, unsubscribe from all of that. Start small and work the muscle. Don't try to do it on your own. Find YouTube resources, Spotify resources until you're ready to then go into these community spaces and practice with others. But don't try to do it on your own.
Nice. What magic are you currently brewing in regards to events you're doing, classes you're teaching, what have you?
The most exciting thing that I'm brewing right now, so I just finished my yoga teacher training, and thank you. And as we were getting ready to finish up, they were telling us that we were going to have to present this final project. So they started sparking with all these ideas. And a lot of people, when they come in for a session, I have mirrors in there, and I make it a point to have them look at themselves after a session because the way that their energy has shifted, and you can see it in their face, is very powerful. And so one of the women that I mentor, she's a photographer. Nice. And so one day I was telling her about I really want to do this photography thing, but I'm not a photographer. And it'd be so cool to have before and after pictures. So many people have been talking to me about it. And she's like, hey, I'm a photographer. We could totally make something like that. And I was like, oh, maybe we could do it for my yoga teacher final. And as the idea was sparking, it generated so quickly that we are now already showing at a gallery for the whole month of August. So during the month of August at the Jean McDonough Art Center in Worcester, we are going to be showing for that whole month the power of the practice. And so we had 15 individuals come into a bioscalar meditation. We had them share a word of how they were feeling before the practice. We took a before picture. I did the meditation, and then took photos after and asked how they were feeling after. All those photos are going to be displayed at this art gallery, and I'm writing poems for each person.
Oh, cool.
So I'm a poet. I'm a published author, poet. I have a book out there. And so each person will get their own poem of their transformation, but you also able to see it in their photos because their faces look very different from before and after.
That's awesome.
And so for opening night, we're doing an immersive sound and yoga experience. So the two women that apprentice underneath me, the ones that I mentor, they're going to be holding space with the sound while I lead yoga for this immersive experience for people to see and read about the power of the practice, but then also experience the power of a practice. For people who aren't going to come in on opening night, we are going to have QR codes because we recorded the actual meditation that I did.
Nice.
And Bluetooth headphones at the front of the gallery. So people can actually listen to the meditation and the sound that the people were experiencing in their before and after photos.
That's so cool.
So they can really have an immersive experience. And we already have another gallery who wants to pick it up after.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. So that's the biggest thing that we're brewing that I'm brewing in this current moment. Well, really collectively, because the two women that I'm apprenticing with are very instrumental in the process. One of them is the photographer, and the other one's really helping and holding space with sound. And then for the whole immersive experience, they're both going to be very immersive, holding space with the sound. So it's really been this generative spark that moved way beyond my yoga teacher final.
That's so cool. I feel like it's going to encourage a bunch of people to want to take these paths to heal themselves, especially if they see like the before and after in somebody's face, and like you can see the difference.
You really can.
And after, right?
Yeah, and the woman that's the photographer, she wants to start doing aura photography as well. So we're already thinking of like the further down the road doing another iteration where we're showing people's auras before and after meditation. So it's another way to see the power of the practice. And the next space that we're going to do it in, we're thinking about doing like an open mic poetry night to play on the poetry side a little bit for the second gallery that wants to show the exhibit. And then instead of like having jazz music played in the background of the poets as they're speaking, we'll utilize our sound healing instruments and have that hold the space while the people are sharing their poetry. And so it's already sparking so many other ideas, but it's been really, really fun. Another thing that's being cooked is that my studio is getting ready to expand further to be a satellite of the Swaha Yoga and Synergy of Sound Academy. So I'll be teaching people in the same way that I've been taught. So teaching people how to become practitioners. And so we're pretty close to that experience happening. So Prism of Brilliance will be a Swaha satellite where I'll be teaching other people who want to get into channeling or want to get into sound or want to learn the foundation of energy medicine. I'll be starting to teach those things.
A little academy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm really excited. Thank you.
I'm excited for you. And now some fun questions. What is your sun, moon, and rising sign, if you know that?
Yeah, so my sun is Leo. My moon is Virgo, and my rising is Libra.
Nice. Do you have a favorite crystal, herb, or tool that you use?
Ooh, my favorite tool is my grandmother drum. So I have a drum that was made for me, and so it's a grandmother drum. So it's a big standing drum. She's 2 feet in diameter. She's beautiful. That is my favorite tool, sacred tool. Her name's Flora, Cosmic Thunder. I love her. She's my favorite tool.
My girl.
She's my girl. Yes, I only have 2 instruments that have names. She's one of them. So one side is buffalo, one side is elk, and then I have 2 mallets that I work with. One is a midnight cow, and one's a rabbit. And then the wood that they use to make her was cedar, so she's light enough for me to travel with. So not like a really heavy dense wood that's hard to carry, like a pine. Yeah. But she is beautiful. She is very powerful and my favorite piece to work with. What was the other part of that question?
Crystal or herb.
Yeah. So I would say my favorite crystal, I think, is labradorite, which is why I wear this so often.
The blue flash is awesome.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And then I obviously love trees. And so this specific pendant was made for me 10 or 11 years ago. I had reconnected with somebody I went to middle school with. And he was starting like doing wire wrapping, and he was making these beautiful trees of life. And I asked him for one, and he sent me one. Nice. And so I've had it for like 11 years, and I still wear it like almost every day.
Nice. Nice. I love that when there's like one piece that just is part of your soul.
Yeah, it's really just a part of me. And I wear it regularly. I don't think he even does wire wrapping anymore, but I'm always going to have this piece, and I wear it
100 years later, and
I'll be buried with this.
Yes. Awesome. What's your magical nickname or archetype that you resonate with?
Ooh. I really resonate with the Cochinas and Isis. So those are 2 energies that I really resonate with. So the Cochinas are indigenous to the Lakota tribe, so they're like they're dancing spirit, and so they're very like playful and energetic, but very like cut and clear. And so they're winged ones. I very much connect with winged ones, which is also why I connect a lot with Isis. And so Isis and my souls are intertwined. I've shared a lot of lifetimes with the soul of Isis, so I really enjoy her energy and call on her quite a bit. And because of that, I have a special connection with eagles.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tea or tincture?
Ooh. Tea.
Tarot or runes?
I would say tarot. I don't use runes as often.
Yeah. Cauldron or candle?
Candle.
Nice. And if your spirit guide had a voice, what would it sound like?
Oh. My spirit guide had a voice. What would it sound like? I feel like it would sound like an ancient, I don't know, maybe like the Vedics who spoke in that Sanskrit language. It would sound like really deep and primordial.
Oh, like that. Awesome. Do you have any pets?
Yes, I have 3. I have 2 dogs and a cat.
Oh.
Rosie, Logan, and Leroy. Leroy is 11. Rosie and Logan are 12 this year.
And does the cat roll the dogs?
No. He's actually he's like the most chill. Leroy is really, 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 really a very chill cat. And he's definitely like my husband's cat. Like he loves my husband. And then Logan and Rosie are my dogs.
Oh, babies.
They're my babies. Logan was a street dog that we rescued. He was found on the streets of New York. He was a dumpster diver dog on the streets of New York. And then Rosie we rescued from a place in South Carolina. And she had been found. She was pregnant. She had 9 puppies. And we rescued her after she had the puppies. I had actually just had a miscarriage myself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. And I was like, I'm getting a dog. Like this needs to fill me. So I got Rosie first. And then about 8 months later, I was like, Rosie really needs a friend. And we got Logan, which I put under the guise of like, honey, this is your dog. This is for you. This is your dog. He didn't want a dog. But we got another dog. And then we got Logan. And so Logan is my shadow. He follows me everywhere. He's like my little, he's like my machismo little papi chulo. My friend Victoria always says he's like a little Puerto Rican man who's roaming the streets. He's like my little Puerto Rican Papa Chulo daddy. That's the energy he gives. He is he's a protective dog, but not in an aggressive way. Like when I say shadow, I mean like if I get up to go to the bathroom at 2:00 in the morning, like he's following me and he's sitting at the door to make sure I'm not disturbed while I'm going to the bathroom. And needs to be like touching me.
Yeah.
So he's not at all aggressive, but just like very, very present.
Yeah.
Rosie is definitely the more aggressive of the animals. Out of all the animals, she's the most aggressive. But she's more like a cat, where she only wants like your attention when she wants to give it, and otherwise she's like, please stay away from me. And they're both, she's basically a feline, but they're both really funny.
Oh, that's awesome. They're all living their best life now.
They're all living their best life. So Leroy, he was just like an outdoor little kitten that like a friend from high school, her cat, we called her Mama Cat because she just always was outside having babies. And so I took one of her babies, and that was Leroy.
Oh, Leroy.
Because when me and my husband started dating, he didn't want dogs, he wanted a cat. So I was like, well, I'm getting an animal, so if it's cat, it's cat. And so I got Leroy.
So cute. I love pets.
Me too.
So those are all the questions I have for you. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. It was a great conversation.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to put a link for them to find you in the description. Do you want that to be your Facebook, your website, or what have you?
Have the link to my Instagram.
Your Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So go check her out and get some healing done, get some certification, take her classes, go see the
Power of the Practice.
Yes. And go that you're doing the gallery. Go see the gallery too that's coming up. So that's really exciting. Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
And always come see us at Enchanted Dragonfly. We are a metaphysical shop at 99 Church Street in Whitinsville, Massachusetts. And give this podcast some love. Subscribe to the channel, like the episode, share with your friends. They'll share it with their friends, and get the word out and have all these magical beings back on the show. And as always, bless be. Love you all. Bye, guys.